Hey everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to talk about prevention, specifically of the many things that can affect our bodies due to pregnancy and birth and postpartum and motherhood and everything. So I'm Erica Zeal, if you haven't seen me before, and if you have any questions as I go along, please ask. If you're watching the replay, please ask. I will dive in later and answer anyone's questions. So prevention, and the reason why I was like, let's just specifically talk about prevention today, because this is something that it's not talked about enough, and if we come across it later on down the road, so many women are like, why didn't I know about this before? So we're going to talk about it. So a couple things is, with pregnancy, and you might be fine with a first pregnancy, a second, even a third, but as you have more and more babies, more and more things can happen to our body. But they don't have to. So a couple things that I want you to be aware of is, number one, back pain during pregnancy and with motherhood does not necessarily have to come along with it. For many it does, but you can work to prevent back pain, and you can also get rid of it. Back pain typically for a majority of women, it's not everybody, but for a majority of women, especially if it's due to pregnancy, postpartum, a lot of it's posture, because when we're sitting and nursing, and even before that, right, when you're pregnant, our chest gets bigger and our shoulders tend to round, and you just may be tired more, and so that can lead to poor posture, which can also lead us into poor core habits. And if we sit a lot with our butt tucked underneath us, like so, like occasionally my favorite little chair that I'm in here, and if I find myself sitting on my computer too much, or you may do the same, and we're tucked and we're constantly tucked like this a lot, that actually can put pressure on your pelvic floor. So if we sit like that a lot, it's really poor habits for, again, not only our posture and our back, but also for our deep core. Specifically our pelvic floor. If we're sitting in a tucked position all day long, when we're driving, when we're holding another child, when we're doing squats, whatever it may be, that actually can be putting pressure onto your pelvic floor, which could be causing incontinence issues. And again, if you don't have any of these symptoms, that's great. That's why it's really important that you learn how to effectively and properly strengthen your core, because once you learn that and you have that knowledge, we can hopefully work to prevent all this stuff for you forever, right? So the awareness is a big part, and that's questions I get a lot, especially around my core rehab program is, oh, Erica, I hear you talk about all these different things, incontinence and back pain and neck pain and diastasis and pelvic organ prolapsing and things like that, but I don't have any of those. That's great if you don't, but the program is still for you, because it's going to teach you so much more. You are actually going to get stronger in your core. And by stronger, I also want to clarify that, because if you're like I was years and years ago before having babies, or at the beginning of having kids, I was someone who liked to lift a little heavier, and so I tend to actually grip in my muscles. And so if you are on that end of the spectrum where you tend to be really tight in your muscles, you'll actually learn how to lengthen with strength, and so you become more fascially fluid is really the best word, but you become more stable and mobile in a very good, proper, healthy, functional way. So you actually learn so much, and it's amazing. Even the women that gone through core rehab and they're like, I don't have any of those, and I'm like, great, do it. And they're like, wow, I feel exercises so much differently, so much more effectively, planking exercises, running, whatever it might be. So there's so many things that when we actually take a step back to really focus on what our body's doing, how it's so effective for everything else we do in our life. So the sooner you can begin and work on preventing, we can hopefully prevent you ever having to experience incontinence, pelvic floor dysfunction issues, diastasis. Again, a majority of women get it, but because you can learn things to do and avoid and how to properly strengthen your core, it makes it easier to recover with another pregnancy. And then the stronger, and I say stronger, and the more fascia we get through our body and through our abdominal wall, the more fluid it becomes, so it can it can move with our body. So when you get pregnant again, you'll have more support and be able to allow expansion of your belly, but you also have that support. And then in the postpartum recovery phase again, you are more connected. And the great thing about Core Rehab too is it's lifetime access. And I made it like that because life happens, and I want you to get in and get moving as soon as you can. And then if you get pregnant again, great, awesome. I have the prenatal membership for you. And then Core Rehab is going to be there waiting for you again when you are ready to begin postpartum. So check it out. The link is below. Again, if you have any questions, if you're not sure if Core Rehab is for you, which, side note, it is really for every single woman. If you're planning to have a baby, if you've had a baby in the last like 20 years, it's for you. So check it out and ask away if you have any questions. See you guys soon.